Welcome to a special episode of the Authors Tribe podcast. Well, hello. This is Cindy, your host. I'm author at Growing Your Business Through Referrals and National Days. And a big shout out to Patrick Snow. He is our author extraordinaire publisher. He is the man out of Maui, Hawaii. So we'll talk about that in just 1 second. So, a little bit about my book. I've been working on my book for 13 years. I was supposed to turn it in, I believe, last October. Just a lot going on. I'm on my last chapter. So, a little bit about my book. I actually teach people how to follow up, how to build those relationships. Like Robin and I have been friends around 2-3 years. So, we've just built this great rapport. And now we're referring each other business. Oh, and we got one of the cups there.
Here's one of the gifts that Cindy sent me as a referral partner.
There you go. And so my story actually started when I was 16 years old. I sent a wedding card to Princess Diana, and they sent me something back with the crest of the Buckingham Palace. And about 5 or 10 years after that, I actually started my very own gratitude business. So that's where it all started. And I'm an ambassador with National Day Calendar. And today I want to talk about National Ice Cream Month. If you'd like to send an ice cream card, please reach out to me. You could also check out my previous interview with the National Day Calendar by simply going to Surf City Aloha Marketing. Robin C. Stern back in the studio, but this time author, baby.
Thank you.
Yes,
good to be back.
So let's talk about this book. I'm going to pop out for a minute. I want to share to a couple of my groups, and then go ahead and tell my audience all about your upcoming book.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cindy. Yeah, Robin C. Stern. I am your Google guru. And that is a moniker that was given to me by my clients as I was training them to use Google. I am an 18-year user. I am a Grow with Google partner in their Grow with Google program, which means I help other businesses to use all of the products and services from Google, as well as their career certificate program, which we are a scholarship point for, and a lot of other really great Google stuff that's available out there for businesses, entrepreneurs, students, people returning to the workforce. They have a lot of really cool stuff. As a matter of fact, I teach a class at the local library for seniors. We do a computer and internet essentials class. And I've just recently become certified by AARP to be an instructor for that. And it's paid for by a grant from Google. Go figure. So Google's got their hands in everything. But the main focus of this book is leveraging all of the free stuff from Google to be able to save money for your business. So we have the marketing side of things, which is Google Business Profile, formerly called Google My Business. And of course, you all have seen that, whether you've ever searched something on your computer or on your phone, you've come up with a bunch of names next to the map, right? You'll see computers, for instance. You'll see Joe's computer service, Bill's computer service, and I Love My Geek. That's my computer service. And when you click one of those names, it populates, if you're on a desktop, the right-hand side of the screen, and you have a map and some pictures. And it's the thing that says what their website is and their hours. And you can click and see reviews. You can call them. You can do all that. That is a Google Business Profile. Now, we have created a 16-year-old computer company with a brick and mortar store that's about to celebrate its 5th anniversary, pretty much solely advertising through Google Business Profile. And I'll tell you, when it's done properly, when you really work the algorithm and give it what it wants, you absolutely will rise to the top of the Google search results. Now, of course, you can pay for Google Ads, and a lot of people do. But for the starting out entrepreneur who's trying to get their business established, get their focus on what they're doing, and get themselves in front of the most people that are actually looking to purchase or buy your product or service, social media is great. You can go on there and ask for a recommendation for a plumber or for somebody who's going to cut your lawn or all those kind of things. But when you really need something and you need it now, you go and you put it into Google search. And that's what I teach entrepreneurs to do, to get set up on Google search and then get their settings all perfect so that the Google algorithm loves what you have and you've given it everything it's looking for. So that's the focus of this book. There is a whole section in the book. Section 2 is a 7-day step-by-step setting up your Google business profile the right way. All right. And then there's all kinds of other great stuff from Google to promote your business with. You can run it with Google Drive and Google Calendar and using Gmail and Slides and all the other free things that come from Google. One of the ones we've used a lot is Google Forms. And, you don't even think about it, but you can create a form for your business. I mentioned I have a computer company. Well, when somebody brings in a computer for repair, we have them fill out. We have a big touchscreen monitor that's turned, in the portrait mode. And there's a form there, and they fill in the information and they hit, I agree, and then submit. Well, that's now captured all their info, put it into a database for us. And now we can use that to track the repair, to reach out to them. And we also have it for future reference to call them back or whatever. And they call and say, you just did this repair. And we go, oh, that was 6 months ago. I mean, we'll still take care of it for you, but it really was 6 months ago because here's the form. Anyway, Google has really cornered the market on helping small businesses have the products to use to save money, as well as that marketing piece. Google Business Profile, we figure for our business is worth probably $1,500 to $2,000 a month worth of advertising that we are not paying for. So that's what I wanted to be able to do, is help other businesses to be able to use that, to leverage that, to maximize the return of that. And then when they're up over that, 500,000, 600,000 mark in yearly sales, then they can start pushing a $10,000 a month ad budget, right? And take that business to 7 figures and get up. That'll be the next book, getting your business to 7 figures using Google Ads. Right? So, but this is the one for the little guy, and it's absolutely going to revolutionize how small businesses get found online and how they go through getting that set up properly. Because there's a lot of talking heads out there telling you a bunch of different stuff. I think my biggest thing that I bring to the table is I'm ready to retire. That's why I'm writing a book, becoming a speaker. But more so than just wanting to write a book and become a speaker, I want to see how many businesses I can really help between now and the time I retire. So this is my way of saying, hey, here's the information, guys. $30. That's all you got to spend. You can walk through it step by step. You can get it set up the way it needs to be. And then you'll be well on your way to getting to that 6 figures and beyond, like the title of the book is.
Well, let's talk about something that's very valuable to me because of you. My travel business is out of control. I've been in the travel business, the travel space since 2018. I joined this company called American Travel Bureau. And just taking your classes, I mean, you have the free 30-minute class, and you also have a 2-hour class. And everything that I learned from there is going to be so powerful, because in a few months, I'm actually going to have you on a team call with all my team. So I have 25 people. I have one person signing up this week, another person signing up next week, and then the following week, I have 2 more people signing up. So awesome. What I want to say about Google, it is so crucial. Number one, for Google and for Facebook, is to have your clients do a video testimony. On Google, it's 30 seconds. Super important. And what I do, one of the tips I want to give our audience right now is that when I get a testimony, whether it's on Google or on Facebook, I screenshot the testimony and I make a beautiful graphic on Canva. And then I have a whole photo album that's travel agent testimonials. And I have another photo album that's clients testimonials. So when somebody wants to know about who I am, that's going to be so powerful, because I could talk all day long about my business. You could talk all day long about your business. People really don't care.
Nope.
They want to know what other people are saying.
That's right.
Now let's talk about how crucial that is.
Absolutely. Your referral thing, Cindy, having other people say, hey, this is amazing. Like I said, I'm holding up my coffee cup that Cindy sent me. When we first got together, she sent this to me for helping her out with some stuff on her podcast, and she customized it to me. It's got my picture on it and everything. This keeps Cindy at the top of mind, no matter whether she's in my face or on my screen or not. I have a cup that she sent to me that I drink coffee out of, not every day, but pretty much every day. I'm drinking coffee out of that cup. So the staying top of mind and staying present for the people that you're trying to work with and the customers you have worked with, because let's face it, Getting a new customer is like 10 times harder than keeping and getting a second sale from an existing customer, right? They already know you. Hey, Val, they already know you. They know who you are, what you do, and they know your integrity. So this is, an already kind of built-in client. So getting that new one is much more difficult than that. However, when you're using Google Business, like Cindy said, you can really leverage that to get a big return. One of the things we're working on right now, Cindy, like you said, with 25 people in your organization, to get this training into the hands of each of them so that they can now leverage it on a local level.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the algorithm really loves. It loves that local level. If anybody watching this is interested in finding out how a larger corporation that has a lot of franchisees or a lot of independent agents could really leverage Google Business for that big international or national company, where they would be able to lower their national marketing budget some because all of their independent agents are using it for hyper local search and bringing in more clients on the city and county level, as opposed to them putting out some canned stock footage, pictures, which the algorithm sees instantly. When State Farm posts the same exact Google post for 300 agents at the same time, it's like, yeah, that's nothing. But when each agent says, hey, we were at this park this week, or hey, we went to this event this week, and here's some pictures of people locally. Here's, the event coming up next week, or here, that really stimulates the algorithm, because you have to understand, Google search is a local based search product. It's not all over the internet. It's not all over Facebook and international. You can't do that. When you're using Google, you have to understand it's meant to be, let's call it, for the older people, a replacement for the Yellow Pages. All right. And now on that thought process, if I was to say be in Houston, Texas, and their Yellow Pages is probably 2 volumes this thick already, and they put all the phone numbers for Los Angeles and New York and Milwaukee all in that same book, it would now be, 3 volumes taller than my house. And it would take forever to index that information and get my answer. That's why they break it down to local areas, just like the Yellow Pages did. So you can find what you need quickly. It's referenced to the local area. So get your directions, read other reviews of people locally. That's the beauty and the value and the power of Google Business. And that's what I teach in my book.
Okay, so the next topic I'm going to cover is the Google website and an actual website. We need to have both, and let's talk about that.
Sure. So, you have your www.this.com, and there's lots of host companies out there where you can have your website, where the domain name, that's the www, is referenced there. Because understand, when you type that in from, Bumfubbler, Iowa, and it comes up and gives you a website in, Acapulco, wherever, Mexico, that is a domain name that's somewhere so you can find it. And it has to be somewhere registered with the International Registration Agency, so that when you type in that website, it comes up and gives you the information you want. Think about it like a license plate or even a fingerprint. It has to be just one website. So the web hosting company is going to give you your email account. It's going to have your www. And then usually they have a place for you to build your website right there, whether it's using their builder, using WordPress, using HTML, which is an old school way of doing it, but still very valid. But Google has this really cool thing called Google Sites. And if you go to sites.google.com, that is a very, very easy way to put together a simple landing page. It can actually be a multiple page website, Cindy. They've recently refurbished it. And you can drive your traffic there and use that domain name on that website. So it really is a replacement now for a paid website. The only thing you're lacking is that email address. And the email address you can always get through using Google Workspace, but that isn't part of their free stuff. That's a paid piece of the puzzle. But what I see a lot is you have these really professional looking businesses online, or they hand you a beautiful business card and you're thinking, gosh, these people they're right in there. I mean, they got it. Like, if I get a Chase Bank business card it's going to have a guy with an email address at chase.com. That's very professional. If I get a Morris Bank business card, I've been working on leveraging some banking marketing, it's going to be at morrisbank.com. But when you get a business card from somebody, it looks great, it looks professional, and they have a Gmail email address, that says they're not willing to pay to have email because Gmail's free. So that psychologically triggers in people, this isn't a real business. They're not a legitimate professional organization. They're just kind of a hobbyist. They haven't bit the bullet and said, I'm going to use, pay for my email yet. So that's one of the pieces that it's hard to get around paying for. But I also represent a web hosting company that will give you all the email addresses you want with as many websites as you want for $2 a month for the first 3 years. But that's another podcast there completely. We're here to talk about the book and talk about Google. You mentioned something a second ago, Cindy, about using Canva to create some really cool designs. That is the only other thing that's in this book for free, something free that I reference is Canva, because a lot of the graphics in the book I used Canva for, and it made it very easy for me to get them to the resolution I wanted, to get them the size I wanted, and to make sure that when they were put into the book, they would come out clear in the print and be easy to follow along with. So Canva is definitely an awesome free product. And for $10 a month, you get access to all of their stuff. And that really is, it's a no-brainer for my business because we use it every single day. I will tell you that the reason the book came about, Cindy, is because I had so many people doing my paid training, and they would say to me at the end of it, wow, that makes so much sense. Why didn't anybody ever tell me that before? I've been with franchisees that have a corporate marketing person that's, we're helping out 400 franchise owners, and they have these big meetings online. And this one gentleman had just come from the meeting with this $180,000 a year marketing professional. And we had a 20-minute conversation, and he said, what's the use of this marketing person? They didn't tell me any of that. And it all makes so much sense when you understand how it works and you see it in black and white, step by step, making it happen. So I really wanted to see if we could kind of help that small guy and give him the tools necessary to not only be able to get their business on Google and to make sure they're doing the right things to make Google want to elevate them on the search results, but to also give them the power and the empowerment to not be taken advantage of by marketing companies. And I know there's going to be a million marketing companies out there that just went, oh, you dirty dog, you're giving away the secrets. Well, that's me. I'm the marketing guy that all the marketing guys hate, because I'm going to tell you the truth. And in that truth comes some of the things that marketing people sometimes want to use to keep you as a $500 or $1,000 a month customer, right? Because they're doing it for you and they make you think that, hey, I need them to do this. So some of what you get in my book as well is the training to understand that, to be empowered, to not have to be taken advantage of. And I'm not saying all marketing people are going to take advantage of you. I am one. I know there's lots of good guys out there like me, but there is a part of every type of business that is got some unscrupulous characters in it. And those are the ones we'd like to help you avoid. What are you showing us here, Cindy?
So I'm trying to get into my account. So can we just do a quick demo about that?
Get into your what?
Into my Google account.
Okay, so yeah, what you're going to do, you're in Google Business trying to enter a business name. So just go back to your browser and just go to. You want to see the website? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, I just want to get into the back end.
Okay, so go to either business.google.com or sites.google.com. Either one is going to get us there, and then you'll see a sign-in button. Now, here's one of the things that we talk about at the beginning of the book is Cindy's not logged into the right account to see her Google business profile. So she's going to go to the top right corner there, and she's going to change which account she's logged into, because see, right now it's saying you don't have a business. It's saying, hey, set up a business for me. So click on one of the other ones, Cindy, the bucket list coach one.
Yes, that's what I'm trying.
No, not manage. No, this is going to take you to managing your Google account.
Okay.
You want to be on the bucket list coach one.
Do I go here like that?
I can't see it anymore. We're not seeing it on the screen.
1 second. Why is it somehow going to that one? Okay, here, let me try it again. So let me just try from scratch here.
So I'll tell you, I learned a lot when I was writing this book. And Cindy said something about spending 13 years writing her book. This came about for me with 15 years of experience, but I have a very loving wife who works her tail off for me, and she gives me a little bit of leeway, a little bit of wiggle room. So I was able to crank this thing out in about 8 months. I started becoming your Google guru about a year ago, June or July 6th. It was a year exactly. And then we started writing the book in about October. So I will tell you that there's lots of neat tricks and things you got to know about to write a book. Cindy mentioned a gentleman named Patrick Snow. He is a book coach. He has a great program for helping you to get your book written and published. He also helps you to get all of your speaker marketing going, all of your this guy really teaches you how to get up there and make it happen. And if it wasn't for him, I may still be where Cindy is 13 years from now. So,
well, only because I met him a couple of years ago. So that's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
that gave me.
Cindy's the one that introduced me to Patrick as well. And I'll tell you that I had the book finished in January and all the content was done. And then I met Patrick. And here we are, July, and it's just now ready to go. So, But here's the deal. This is a business book, right? And so it needs to not just be a nice read. It needs to be something professional that not only is giving you the information that you're buying, but extra. There's bonuses in the back of this book that will help you to, take your book to the next level or take your business to the next level. Here's, 6 ideas, great ideas to get more reviews, right? How do you get more reviews? That's one of the bonus pages in the back. But then there's also that talks about my computer company. I Love My Geek, right? And some other things in there as well, kind of to help the world know who the author is and what you're doing out there with the rest of your time. I have an inner circle for the Ask Your Google Guru on Facebook, right? So all that has to be in there as well, helping people to get access to that so you can help more people. That's the bottom line to it, right? That we want to help more people, get the information out more. I can help everybody I can talk to. I hear it all day long. Man, this helped me so much. What did Cindy just say about, her travel business? But I can't get to everybody one at a time. So writing the book is the way that you're able to get to more people and make a bigger impact on a larger group to be able to really say, wow, I helped a lot of people. So really, really, there's my beautiful wife is watching us. Hey, Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
Cool. That's nice. There's a little doggy too on the picture there. So what else do you want to know, Cindy? Marketing and PR on it's crazy, but formatting, right? Formatting the book will make you insane. That you're going through that right now. It is
making me insane.
I hired a technical writer who sat down with me and started showing me how to use styles and the table of contents and that sort of thing. And my technical ability, because I've been in technology for 40 years, I was in the Marine Corps working on aviation electronics back in the 80s. And I just continue to stay on top of all that. I'm a baby boomer, but I'm on the front of the bubble. I didn't get absorbed by the technology bubble, and I'm sitting there like one of the people in my class now. I'm teaching the class, right? But I was able to take that technology training and really leverage it. So my understanding of formatting with Microsoft Word now has increased, and my understanding of how to market the book is getting better every day, doing things like this as well. But I can't discount the fact that having a good social media person, I have a young lady who's in Scotland who has been pushing my social media like crazy for the last 2 years. Kat Hurd, yeah.
She is amazing. So anybody needs somebody, you definitely connect with Robin. She's absolutely
phenomenal. Yeah. You need somebody like that in your corner. She has made me look so good online for well over a year now. And I'm not the one posting. I have somebody doing it for me. We meet. I tell her what we're doing. I give her pictures to post and so forth, and she handles all of it. But having that in your corner, as well as a PR person, when you're ready to launch your book, you got to have a PR person, somebody who knows all the news channels, all the socials outlets, all the podcasters, everybody out there, so that they can get you written up so well that all these people that are going to do the interviews and do the write-ups, they just salivate when they see your press release or your one sheet. They just go, oh, I got to talk to this guy, right? My viewers are really going to love this. Like Cindy said, when I told her the book was ready, she's like, oh, you got to get on my podcast. We have to have you do that. So this is all an important part and pieces as you go along the authorship path. But taking this book from in my head and getting it on a piece of paper, not only was it a huge labor of love, but it really changed my perspective of Google's products because I had to now explain it in great detail, right? And the one that really makes the whole thing and closes it together, you mentioned them earlier, YouTube. YouTube is a Google product, okay? So if you have the number one search engine in the world, 92% of the world uses Google, and the number one video search engine in the world, it's only number two behind Google, right? So Google's number one, YouTube's number two, and it's all free, guys. So this is my emphatic plea to any business owner out there. If you don't buy this book and learn how to use YouTube and Google to promote your business, please find somebody local that you trust and hire them to help you. Because just like any other thing that you're going to learn, when I had to learn formatting, I went and found a technical writer that knew Microsoft Word, and they taught me, right? If I had to go cut a path into the woods, well, I like exploring, but if there's a path already there, it makes it so much easier, right? So instead of hacking through tree limbs and vines with a machete, let somebody else do that part. Hire them to teach you and get past that stumbling block much quicker. And that's the beauty of having a book coach, having a social media person, having a PR person. I was able to focus on the content and make it the best possible content it could be to help people as much as possible. And this is really launched into something now where I think that we'll probably get to 100,000 people before the end of the year, and hopefully 1 million before the end of the following year. I'm hoping to sell a couple million copies of this, not for my profit, to help more people, right? So yeah, if you want to know, I think Cindy's scrolling the information right there at the bottom for the book. It's already on pre-release sale. We're getting a lot closer to it. I will tell you that you'll be able to buy it on Amazon shortly, but if you want to get guaranteed a signed copy, as well as knowing that you're getting a legitimate, high quality, properly printed on good paper, and making sure the author's getting the most profit out of it, please go to your Google Guru /book and go ahead and purchase a copy there. I promise you that as soon as they're in my hot little hand, you will have one packed up with your mailing label on it, and it'll be out the door to you. And we're hoping to launch this, Cindy, and have the big book release party sometime at the beginning of September. So I should have the books in hand before that. So everybody who has supported me so far, thank you so much. I really am grateful, eternally grateful, because not only did you show that you believe in me, but you kicked me in the butt and made me finish, because I already sold the thing. I had to finish it, right? There was no way around it. So I thank you very much for that. You guys have been incredible in supporting me with that. I don't know what I have something else I want to talk about, but I know you have.
I want to cover something else because it's super important, because this is what I'm going through, and this is what over 1,500 of Patrick's authors have gone through, and it is I call it the author's rabbit hole. Yep. So what happens is you're writing all your stuff, you turn your book into the author or into the publisher, and like, oh man, I forgot to put that in there. So with my accountability partner, Karen McLemara, I want to do a shout out to her. Super important not to get in that rabbit hole. Just get done what you need to get done. And then you could do a second edition and third edition. So let's kind of talk about that. Did you actually get in that rabbit hole like myself?
Sure. You know what, Cindy? I appreciate you bringing that up, because I did. And in my office here, I have an 8-foot long, 4-foot tall whiteboard. That has been my saving grace. I was able to write out every chapter title and write out all the things I wanted to say in each chapter. So it kept me on track. I focused on what were those points, because that took me 2 months to write that out, right? Wow. To make sure that I covered everything. Well, I was already writing the book, but I would go back to that over and over again. I would keep coming back, like, what else needs to go in this chapter? How can this be more helpful? How can this be clearer, right? How can I make this crystal clear for somebody reading the book? And again, that's another piece. Let a few people that you trust that aren't at your technical level read it for you and critique it for you, so you can get feedback from a user version, right? Not just your technical version. But that board written out kept me on track. As a matter of fact, I just erased it. I'm looking at it now and it's empty, and I'm thinking, God, I got to start a new project.
Mine's empty too. Ready to tackle mine.
I got to start a new project now. My brain's going, I got to put something on the board. So I have a multitude of colored dry erase markers because I just love changing it all up, making it look great. And that really kept me from getting off down the rabbit hole. Now, this has been a blessing because I've been able to print it, and then I can go in and start writing in the columns and at the bottom of the page, like, oh, add this for the next version, add this for the next version, add another chapter about this, right? So I actually, I'm going to, it's because it hasn't printed yet. I think I'm going to add another bonus in the back, one about formatting, for an author, some basic formatting with Microsoft Word, because if you can start off formatting it the right way, then when you do send it to the editor to get it all finished up, it's going to take so much less time. And they charge by the hour and by the page and by the word. So if you have that thing pretty much nailed down, then those final things to make it perfect are so much simpler. So I'm thinking of adding a bonus page for that. And one more that I just can't seem to help myself. I showed you this the other day. ChatGPT is
my God, guys, that's amazing.
It's an unbelievable resource. Yes. Now, I would never dream of writing the content with ChatGPT. That's cheating, right? I mean, you can't do that. Number one, if you get caught doing that by any of the book outlets, you're banned. You will never sell another book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Ingram's. You'll never sell another book if they say, you claim this as your original content and they've proven that they can see that it's ChatGPT, you're done.
Well, let's talk about the foreword, because I have an amazing mentor who's actually going to do my foreword. And let's talk about how powerful it could be to use that part of my book through the ChatGPT.
Oh, absolutely. So to help, because normally when somebody's going to write you a nice testimonial or a foreword, if there's somebody, who's I got a celebrity level, fairly well known, they really don't want to take the time to spend half an hour writing out a nice testimony. And maybe they don't even really remember you that well, but you sure remember them, Forbes Riley. And so you send them something that says, hey, this is what we did, and this is what you said about me. And, would you allow me to put this in my book? So normally you're the one that gives them the information, and then they go ahead and verify it all and then say, yes, I'll sign off on that. You can put that in your book. But being able to generate this eloquent, completely perfect content through ChatGPT has been a huge time saver. Now, I work with a ghostwriter in Nigeria, and we just spoke the other day, and I said, look, I've already got like 8 chapters already, it's been generated by ChatGPT for this. We're working on a book that is written by ChatGPT, but the book is going to be about our relationship and how we came to know each other and how we started working together. But the ChatGPT book is going to be the basis of it. It's kind of a cool idea. But he said, no, forget it. Just tell me the chapter names. I said, well, why? He said, well, me trying to go back and fix what it generated for you is so much harder than me just taking the chapter names and then me asking it to do it, because I know what to ask it. So there's certain ways to ask it to do things for you. And then you can regenerate the same response over and over again and say, make it more compelling, add 2 more paragraphs, put in 100 more words. It will do whatever you ask it to do. So I think I might add another bonus page in the back, just saying, hey, if you want to know how to access it, and then maybe some of the rules, like don't ever claim that ChatGPT generated content is your original content. Never, 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 never. If I didn't say never, I'll say never, because that's like the hugest number one. That's plagiarism to the nth degree. You're plagiarizing artificial intelligence now. Don't do that, people. But to use it as filler pages, like one of my back pages in here now talks about my consulting business and what I do for large organizations when I'm consulting with them. And some of that was generated by ChatGPT. I'm not going to lie. It has a very eloquent way. You can ask it to be compelling and witty and funny, and it'll give you this great content that it spits out. And then, of course, you go in and make it your own, right? So I will say that it's a beautiful piece of software, a tool for an author to use to get ideas maybe, or to generate that initial content so that you can now change it and edit it and format it the way it's going to work perfectly for your book. But certainly having the book as your selling kit, right? To send this to somebody and say, hey, why do I say that I can help your organization do what I say I can do? Here, read this and you'll find out, right? So that's a huge piece of the puzzle. I have worked in my business for so many years. I met an older gentleman who was my business coach about 7 years ago, Larry Zgrabic. Don't try and pronounce it. Your tongue will hurt. But Larry got me out of my computer business. I was in the daily operations until I met Larry. And now my computer business has employees and it runs itself. So that was one elevation. Right now I'm to the level that I don't have to be there every day. So I was able to write a book. And now I'm getting to the level where I can say, okay, I am the subject matter expert on this now. Let me show you how to use this product, and people will acknowledge that. And again, now I can reach more people and help more entrepreneurs get successful, right? That's the whole purpose.
So let's talk about some other things really quickly about Google. So
Sure.
we all post on Instagram, TikTok, all these platforms. So start getting comfortable posting on your Google page. You can post, like I said earlier, 30-second videos. You can post photos if you have an upcoming event. So then once you start getting active, because I actually told Robin about this when I first had my Google page. I'm like, oh my God, all these people are liking my page. And now there's people who are asking for travel service, and there's somebody else who wants to be an agent. So yeah, because you're having a little banter kind of back and forth. They're seeing what you're doing. They're sharing your content. So let's talk about how important that is to get on Facebook and Instagram, and also have Google be a part of your daily ritual or your weekly ritual.
Absolutely. And that's one of the topics throughout the entire book. I tell a lot of stories because it helps people connect what I'm saying on the technical level to what they understand from their own personal experience. And that's a great way to teach. It's one of the ways I've been teaching for probably 30 years. But if you could think about the old West days, every cowboy movie you ever saw, there was Main Street, right? And they had the businesses and the general store, and they had the boardwalks down both sides, and then the dirt road down the middle, and you rode up on your horse and strapped him to the pole there, and you went inside. Well, imagine the owner of the general store. Every morning when he got there, he would get there, put on his leather apron and his hat, grab his broom, prop open the front door, and he'd sweep the front boardwalk there in front of his building. And that told the community he's open. It said, hey, I can go buy something. I can get my rice or my flour or whatever at the general store. And Google wants to know the same exact thing, but they can't see the front of your store if you even have a storefront. But what they can see is your updates on your Google business profile. So when you post on your Google business profile, you're telling the algorithm, I'm open. You can send people to me. I'm active. Now, think about it. I own a computer store that posts 3-4 times a week, that has people commenting and leaving reviews. We got 2 more 5-star reviews in the last couple of days. Or the computer store that hasn't updated their website in years, hasn't posted on Google in years, barely ever uses social media. The algorithm's out there looking at the activity, and it says, well, these guys over here, they're like 7 or 8 times a week I see something pop up about them. This guy over here, I don't even know if he's there. So that tells the algorithm, by you posting on Google, by you putting your products on Google, by you putting your services on Google, it says I'm open. I'm an active, viable business. Then if you post photos that sees them, people are looking at them.
Those testimonial photos. I mean, although we have the testimonials on there,
right?
But the testimonial photos. So photos, and especially videos, that they're going to actually help with the algorithm more than anything, especially people talking about your business.
Exactly. And I talk about that in the book, 100%, that getting the review and how to get the review in a certain way that we teach you, so that you get as much traffic and algorithmic activity as you possibly can, because that's what elevates you to the top. Now, we've been talking about algorithm. Let's real quick just touch on that. Algorithm means a pattern. And so an algorithm is looking for a pattern. Google's algorithm changes almost daily. Like 400 plus times a year, they change the algorithm. But they only change the top maybe 10, 15%. And they're adjusting for, DEI stuff, or, what's in the news, or safety and security things, and making sure you're a real business. But that base 60, 70, 80%, that doesn't change. That's just the being a good exemplary citizen stuff, right? Showing that you're there, giving good updates, responding timely and with very professional responses to your reviews. All those pieces are a solid part of the base of that algorithm that shows your pattern is positive, and your pattern is to do what Google wants, so that Google wants to put you at the top of the search results. Now, look, again, I keep saying top of the search results. I'm talking organically to the top of the search results. Paid ads are great. There's a place for them as well. But those sponsored ads and those paid ads, people know they're sponsored. A lot of people in our experience have said, I go right past those to the 3 that are next to the map. Because when you see those 3 that are next to the map that don't say ad or sponsored on them, those people got there organically. They got there because they gutted it out. They give good work, good service. They sell good products. People like them. People talk about them. And Google's algorithm says, put them at the top. All right. And you've all seen this. You got one guy who only got 25 reviews, but he's got a 5-star rating and he's at the top over a company that has 500 reviews. Even if they have a 5-star rating, they still might not be doing all the things right. So they come up second to the guy that has 25 reviews. So it's not the number of reviews. It's making sure the algorithm is being tickled and it likes you and it says, oh, you're doing everything I want you to do. I'm going to put you in front of more people. So that's absolutely 100% of what we talk about when we're talking about that activity and that algorithmic activity. So just you create a good pattern and Google's pattern sees it and says, oh, we want to match you up. And that's what happens. I haven't even scratched on the content and the information that's in this book, Cindy, about what to put in your posts, how to respond to reviews, how to use photos, how to use YouTube to make sure that you're getting that whole connected circuit so that Google's algorithm sees you and goes, oh, that guy, put him in front of everybody, right? Because they love you, they love what you're doing, and they love that you're helping people. And that's how it works. It's just like anything else. Be an excellent person and you will have excellence. If you are excellent at working your Google business profile, you will get in front of more clients and you will get more calls and more website visits. But there's a whole nother thing, like have a compelling website, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to cover a couple more things. We have 3 minutes. I don't know if I can cover this, but one thing I want to talk about that is super important to everybody is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, netiquette.
Yep.
When you are engaging with people, do not post negative on their page or on their post. Never, ever do that. If you have a situation that you want to address, do it in a private matter, but please do not do that. That's actually a big part of my book. I have a whole chapter that talks about the value of netiquette. Let's talk really quickly about quotes, adding quotes to a book.
Oh, yeah. So, you always want to give people something to reflect on at the beginning of a chapter and at the end of a chapter. And so I didn't even think about this. Again, that's something Patrick, teaches and that you can find the best quotes, right? So this is a book about free stuff, right? The very first quote in my book is from Queen Latifah. And it says, I don't care how much you have or how much money you have. Free stuff is always a good thing, right? And here's one that we have from Maya Angelou that Cindy has. Yeah, that's exactly 100%. So putting these, and that's perfect for Cindy, right? Because she helps you give gifts so that people remember you. And it's very important to tie people in on an emotional level, on a psychological level, so that when they read the chapter, they have something that they're like, oh, this is about how cool it is to have free stuff, or how great it is to feel good after you're gone. They'll remember how much you cared, right? And how you made them feel, right? So yeah, look up good quotes and put good quotes in your book, because it definitely makes a whole difference to the reader.
Okay, so the next part is shout outs and call to action.
All right. Well, we did shout outs. We got Kat and we got, I didn't finish with Larry Z. There's one last piece. When you do your acknowledgments in your book, like in the front, you always have an acknowledgments. Your dedication is your lady or your kids or your dogs. Your acknowledgments are to anybody in the world who you think might have ever stimulated you or could stimulate you to action, to do better, to be better. So put everybody in there. I mentioned my book coach, or my business coach from 7 years ago, who got me out of my business. What I didn't say is I closed the business that we started with him after about $250,000 loss. So I'm still paying off from like 6 years ago that debt because of that business that closed. But that guy got me out of my computer business, and I still think he's a great coach because of that. So his name is in the book. And I quoted one of his very key sayings that he uses all the time at the end of the book. And when I showed it to him at a meeting a couple of weeks ago, he, first of all, he's 70 something years old now. So he got a little emotional. He's like, wow, you put me in your book. So that was huge. But then he came up to me after the meeting. He said, hey, when are you going to have those? I said, hopefully within, 4 to 6 weeks. And he said, I'll buy the first 50 copies.
Wow. There you go.
$1,500 worth of book sales because I put his name in the book. Put people's names in your book, guys, and make sure that you are thinking of any person in the world. I won't tell you that Jeff Bezos, Ryan Reynolds, and a bunch of other folks, Elon Musk, they're all in there too, baby. Oprah Winfrey, all of them are in there because
some other people are in there too.
They've all really, elevated me, pushed me to elevate.
I actually, because mine is more strictly marketing. So I actually have a whole section that's about resources. So I have Casey Everhart for his mentorship. I have you in there now that you have a book. I had you in there as a computer service and marketing and, Google class guy. But now that you have a book, there'll be a link there to your book. So I think that's super important. And let's talk about the upcoming events. The next one is Thursday, Mary West Network. 10 a.m.
Yeah. Another lady you connected me to, Mary West Network, who has a podcast with Patrick called the Unstoppable Authors Show. So Patrick was going to have me on that towards the end of August. And he said to me after we went into our last meeting, he says, look, you're coming on next week. So wait. I can't even promote that fast enough coming on next week. You crazy? He said, no, you're coming on next week and we'll redo it again, in August or October or whatever. But I want you to come on and tell the world about this because it's that important. So Thursday, 1:00 Eastern on Mary West Network. I believe Cindy put all the information in the posts that she did for this show today. You can text Mary. You can message me. Jump on if you saw this on Facebook, just ask for the information and we'll get it to you. But I would love to have as many people there as possible. You will get a little more in depth of what we're doing and a little more about Patrick because hopefully he's not feeling good this week. So hopefully he'll be feeling better by Thursday and you'll get to meet him as well and see kind of his methodology of how he works with his authors to make sure that they're putting out the top quality product that's going to get them seen. And ultimately, the biggest piece of writing a book is to get reviewed by a book critic, hopefully good. But no matter good or bad, to get reviewed by a book critic, because that says you've made it, right? And so that's Patrick's whole thing about how it's set up, including the whole back cover, everything about it. We commiserated over the spine of it. We fought about the spine of it for about 45 minutes one day because he's like, no, can we put the word Google so it reads this way or should it be that way? And everything about this was very, very meticulously talked about and decided because it all makes a difference. Because I want that book critic to pick it up and go, oh, wow. And then the first thing they're going to do, as soon as they go here, they're going to flip it over and look at the back. And you better be able to get them going. And I'll show you on the back is the name of Cindy Lee Rhodes, Bucket List Coach. She's got a quote there. You want to increase your business by 10x? Start right here. Cindy Lee Rhodes, Bucket List Coach.
Wow. Thank you.
So she's on the back cover of the book. No, thank you, Cindy, for that quote and for that testimonial. I really appreciate all you've done. From the time you've met me until now, we have both elevated each other to other levels, and I think that we'll continue to do so as we continue to grow our businesses. So thanks for having me on today.
Wow. So for shout outs, I'll definitely shout out to you. If I haven't met you on that Zoom in the East Coast 2.5 years ago, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have had an opportunity to introduce you to Mary, and a big shout out also to Valerie Harris.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. So really quickly, so we can close out, one thing I want to talk about that Valerie, I, and Mary are doing is when we get testimonies, we're doing the graphic and everything and the intro and outro. So I'm actually going to do 2 free ones this month. So if anybody wants that, and just super crucial. I mean, like what you did for my book, I think I have like 12 testimonies for the pre-sale of my book, and I could do the same for you now that you have, all your content ready to roll. And so if anybody is connected to Robin Stern, please reach out to him and you can meet him on Zoom or whatever platform he wants. And you could do a quick 2-minute testimony. That's actually going to really help with the pre-sale of his book. I highly suggest that you do that. Or you
Absolutely.
could do a written if you're a little nervous to get on video. So we are closing out at the end of the show.
Has it
I
been
always,
long? Wow, it's been more than
yeah,
45 minutes. That's
yeah.
crazy.
So at the end of the
Crazy.
show, I always say, what is the one thing that you would do this week or this month to pay it forward to a random stranger?
I did it earlier today. I saw a young man walking through the grocery store and he was balancing a magazine that he wanted his mom to buy for him on his head. And he turned and he saw me and I said, "Great job, dude." Smile on his face said it all. Mom wasn't paying any attention to him, but somebody else noticed him and his book on top of his head. I had a lady just cut my hair. I got it cut just for this show. I encouraged her. She was talking about something that she was doing. And I said, "Well, you can do that. Go for it. You can." It doesn't cost anything to be nice, folks. It doesn't cost anything. And it really creates huge value, not only for you, but for somebody else. So say a nice word, make eye contact, nod your head if that's all you got. But that humanity and that connection to another human being, sometimes that might be the only acknowledgement they got that whole day, maybe that whole week. And you could change their whole perspective just by looking at them, smiling, and nodding your head. So don't think that you have zero value in what you do.
Exactly.
You are so valuable. Go out there and share it with the rest of the world.
So I think what I'm going to do this week or this month is I'm going to send 2 just because gratitude gifts with a
One's
ice
enough
cream
for me,
gift
Cindy. You
card.
only have to send me one.
With the ice cream gift card, I'm going to have to give you something else because you already know that's what I'm doing. So that's kind of my pay it forward for the month. And of course, so many different local business owners. I'm going to find ways to connect them to other people. And that's why I like being a celebration ambassador with National Day Calendar. It gives me ideas to connect people to people and just pay it forward to a local business. So
Perfect.
anything
Stay
else
tuned.
before we close out?
We're going to be having a huge book release party in Atlanta, Georgia, coming up in the beginning of September. Anybody on here that's local that wants to come, let me know. We'll get you the invitation. We're going to do tie-dyed shirts and book signings and
Guys.
all kinds of entertainment and stuff. We're going to have a great big party and have a great time. So if you're in the Atlanta area or you're going to be in the Atlanta area this fall, let me know. Maybe it'll work out right and you could come to the book release party as well.
Okay. And one last call to action. If you comment on this very video and you share it, I will gift you a 3-night hotel stay. I cover the hotel, you cover the tax. So definitely pay it forward to this amazing entrepreneur. He's doing so many great things for so many businesses. And make sure that you schedule that one-on-one with the amazing Robin C. Stern.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you. Well, there you go, guys. I will be posting the link for the Mary West Network for Thursday at 10 a.m. PST. Have a great day.